Imagine being caught in the middle of a tug-of-war between two giants, each demanding your loyalty. One offers security, the other prosperity. That's exactly the impossible dilemma facing South Korea today. And the stakes? Nothing less than the future of Asia's most dynamic economy and the stability of the entire region. As US-China rivalry intensifies, South Korea is under unprecedented pressure to pick a side. But what if the cost of choosing is too high for anyone to bear? Let's rewind for a moment. South Korea's rise as an economic powerhouse is a modern miracle, but it didn't happen in a vacuum. In 1992, Seoul established diplomatic ties with Beijing, unlocking a floodgate of trade, investment, and opportunity. China quickly became South Korea's largest trading partner, overtaking even the United States, a country that, since the Korean War, has been South Korea's primary security ally. This dual-track approach, economic engagement with China, security reliance on the U.S., became the cornerstone of South Korean foreign policy. But it was always a delicate balancing act. The cracks first began to show in 2017 when South Korea deployed the U.S.-made THAAD missile defense system. China reacted with a shockwave of economic retaliation, tourism bans, boycotts, and lost sales for South Korean brands. It was a wake-up call. Beijing was willing to use its economic muscle to punish Seoul for aligning too closely with Washington. Despite this, South Korea has continued to walk a tightrope, trading heavily with China while hosting nearly 30,000 U.S. troops on its soil. The situation is further complicated by historical wounds with Japan and the ever-present threat from North Korea. As Kathleen Stevens of the Korea Economic Institute puts it, South Korea faces a strategic dilemma balancing its U.S. security alliance and its economic partnership with China. But in recent months, the pressure has reached a boiling point. The dramatic ousting of President Yoon Suk-yeol and the surprising rise of Lee Jae-myung have sent shockwaves through Seoul and beyond. Lee's presidency signals a possible recalibration of South Korea's foreign policy, and everyone is watching: Washington, Beijing, Tokyo, and Wall Street. The economic fallout is already being felt. In May 2025, South Korean exports plummeted, victims of new tariff measures from both Washington and Beijing. Declines in exports to the U.S. and China suggest U.S. tariff measures are impacting the global economy, warns Ahn Duk-gun, South Korea's industry and trade minister. For South Korean companies, especially in technology and semiconductors, the risks have never been greater. Inside South Korea, opinions are deeply divided. Some urge a path of strict neutrality, keep trading with China, lean on the U.S. for security, and avoid antagonizing either. Others argue that only a stronger alliance with Washington can shield South Korea from North Korean aggression and Chinese pressure. And then there are those who see opportunity in a closer partnership with China, especially as Asian economies look to deepen regional integration. But is neutrality even possible in today's world? Or will South Korea be forced to make a choice that could reshape its destiny and the geopolitical map of Asia? As President Lee Jae-myung signals interest in reviving negotiations for a trilateral free trade deal with China and Japan, the world is watching for his next move. Will Seoul manage to walk the tightrope, or is a major realignment looming on the horizon? Now, as President Lee Jae-myung steps into the spotlight, the world holds its breath. Will South Korea chart a new course, or will it double down on its traditional alliances? Multiple scenarios loom on the horizon, and each carries real risks and opportunities. Some experts predict that Lee will try to walk the tightrope, fostering economic cooperation with China while keeping the U.S. close on security. But history shows how precarious this can be. The 2017 THAAD crisis, when China punished South Korea for its missile defense system, is a stark warning. If Lee leans too far toward Beijing, he risks angering Washington and jeopardizing military support. If he tilts west, Chinese economic retaliation could be swift and severe, especially in high-stakes sectors like semiconductors and cars. There's also a wilder card. A dramatic event, like a North Korean provocation or an escalation over Taiwan, could force South Korea to choose sides overnight. South Korea faces a strategic dilemma balancing its U.S. security alliance and economic partnership with China, warns Kathleen Stevens of the Korea Economic Institute. The stakes aren't just geopolitical. The livelihoods of millions, tech workers, exporters, small business owners, hang in the balance. So what does this mean for you? South Korea's struggle is a textbook case of how global politics can shake economies and lives far beyond its borders. Investors, business leaders, and ordinary consumers should be watching. When a trade war erupts or a diplomatic spat breaks out, supply chains can snap, prices can jump, and jobs can be lost, anywhere in the world. Understanding this fragile balancing act helps you spot risks early, whether you're in tech, finance, or just following the news. Ultimately, can South Korea keep balancing? For now, the answer is yes, but the rope is fraying. Lee Jae-myung will likely seek new talks with China and Japan, hoping for breathing room. Yet pressure from Washington is mounting, and Beijing's watchful eye never blinks. Crisis may not be inevitable, but the possibility grows with every diplomatic misstep and every new U.S.-China standoff. Here's a secret. While the headlines focus on leaders and summits, the real power may lie within South Korea's innovative industries. Its tech giants are quietly diversifying supply chains and investing abroad, hedging against whatever storm comes next. If you found South Korea's dilemma as fascinating as we do, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Where do you think Seoul should turn?